when a horse first comes in, obviously, you know, whether it comes in or whether I look at it on somebody else's farm, the first thing we're going to look at is conformation. So this is how we send the horses to the walker. For the most part, the basic program is to, I like to tack them up, put side reins and a bridle on them because I think it helps their top line a lot. And a lot of farms now are starting to do this. We'll start them out hand walking. We always put the bell boots on and the shin boots so they don't hurt themselves, obviously. But we'll start them out, tack them up in the stall, you know, hand walk them with it. And then when they're ready, put them on the walker. And we will send out groups, you know, of up to 4 or 5 together. And we actually do jog our yearlings, which a lot of people don't. I find that it really helps their hind end. It really helps their muscular development. You want to give this filly a little walk, Heather?
Sorry, who's this?
This is a Rockport Harbor out of Comet Queen. She's actually a horse that I bought to pinhook, so you guys can tell me if I'm doing okay. She's got a great walk. She's just a little bit soft, you know, to me as far as her condition and stuff. So we are trying very hard to put some more condition on her. I think she's a good example of a horse that will benefit. You know, she really gets over the ground. You know, she's got good corners. I think she's got, you know, a nice shoulder. She's got a nice hip. She just needs some more definition as far as her muscle and as far as, you know, under here. You can feel she's got some good abdominals coming, and that's all coming from being tacked up. You know, you want them to, I don't know if you learned about how to adjust the tack and stuff like that when you were doing it, but this is how you want them. You want them to be able to reach down with their neck and move forward, and really, as they're training, as they're jogging, you want them to reach down with their neck so that their back comes up. So that's kind of like holding a whip against your hand, like, you know, bowing it. You want the whole top line to bow. And that's the same as riding a racehorse, really, to help them balance and to get that engine, that back engine going. All right, one more walk for her. She did have some funky knees. We might want to take the bell boots off her when she comes back, Heather, and we'll show them those plastic shoes that she wears. You guys have seen Rockport Harbor, of course, and you've seen that his knees are a little bit offset. So this filly had those knees a little bit as she started to develop and get bigger. So what we did was try to slow down her growth, and we did put the Equilocks on her with the shoes to try and keep the flares on her feet as well. You can see she wants to toe in just a tiny shade on that left fore, but really it's pretty acceptable. These shoes are pretty cool. They're coming into vogue for both racehorses and yearlings, and they just allow, it's basically just a poly shoe. They just allow the foot to move. You see this whole thing is poly. This is a Sky Mesa filly, Unbridled Zamore. She's going to the July sale. And really, I pulled her out as an example of the type of physical that does well in an early sale. She's long actually, but I think she's very athletic, she's very balanced, and she looks very fast. So this would be the type of animal you might not see at Darley or a program that is not going to concentrate on this type. She doesn't have a lot of pedigree, but she is by a good sire. She's got great angles. Great angles on her shoulder, her hip, really nice hind leg. Problem that she's had that we've been working with, she actually came up from Florida, so she hadn't had any Kentucky grass. So as soon as she arrived and we turned her out and started feeding her, her knees started to get, looks like it's been, well, she's shaking a little bit on that right knee. Can you guys see it where she just wants to be slightly over and shake just a little bit in that right knee? When she came in, she was quite upright on her pasterns, and her knees started to buckle over after she got that nutrition and really started to grow fast. You can see you can see how much her rear end is up, as far as in a growth state. So in trying to work with that, you can go ahead and give her a walk, Heather. You can see her walk from the side. This is a Roman ruler colt out of Allen Cat. This is another kind of inexpensive one that we bought for the farm. He's out of a Storm Cat mare. Roman ruler is actually doing surprisingly well so far, so I'm kind of excited. We gave $14,000 for him, and I wanted to use him as an example of a horse that when we bought really went through some changes and really needed some help, and he still is going to need some help condition-wise getting masculine enough to get top dollar for him. But his pasterns are coming down just a little bit. You know, as he grows, he looks better because he's got his shoes on today, but the pastern has been starting to slide down, and he's got heels that became slopey and close to the ground. So we put shoes on him early in order to protect those heels and get him up off the ground a little bit and give him some more support for those pasterns. Okay, here's another Darley stallion. This is a Henny. Henny's from heaven, as the new ad reads. We put him on the list because I wanted to talk about therapy with you guys. This little thing right here has kept him from going to the July sale, believe it or not. He's definitely he's a really precocious, you know, early, big, nice-looking physical. He would have been great in the July sale, but unfortunately he got that little puncture wound in his leg, and it's taken, how long has it taken? 5 months? Okay, just to heal that much. You can't really see it. It looks like a little scrape from this side, but when you look at it from the front, you'll see it has a lot of scar tissue on it and stuff. And how much have we spent in laser therapy? Quite a lot of money to you know, get these horses ready for sale. Obviously, there's some good technological things out there to help us. You want to give him a little walk, Heather? Everybody can see him from the front. This is a Saratoga horse, Tempest Fugit. We brought him out just to show you this really pretty foot boot. He actually just brought him out to show you an example of a Saratoga horse, basically, and you know, maybe you'll commiserate with us in the fact that he just cut his foot and we had to staple it the other day. So I think he's got a great conformation. I don't know how many Empire Makers you all have seen. He's a really, really good example because he's not as strung out and lean as most of them. He's got a really, really good hind leg, great hip, great shoulder, good definition, very correct. He just basically overreached the other day when he was in the paddock, and he has a little slice on the inside of his heel. So we had to go ahead and staple it up, and you know, now have to keep him in for 4 or 5 days. So.
What do you think his value is?
Well, his owner thinks his value is around $1 million, but you know, I'd say it's somewhere between 0 and $1 million. I think he's probably a $500,000 horse, you know, in today's market. He was valued, you know, higher than that as a foal. My recommendation was that he would bring a whole lot as a foal, so you know, we'll see what happens. And Empire Maker's doing pretty well. It's a lot of work, you know, throughout the year to not only recruit the horses, but to keep up with their condition, place them properly, try to keep your clients happy, because we also help with, you know, breeding decisions. And you know, people will come to us and say, I have this mare, I'd like to sell her in foal in November, what should I breed her to? You know, how can I do X, Y, Z, how can I get the most for my horse?